Now today, you're going to learn 9 things women secretly need but can't admit. Not to make you feel bad, not to give you another list of failures, but to show you what women are biologically wired to respond to.
Happy Friday! This video won't be posted on a Friday, but it'll be Friday in a few more days. Also, this is my last video that will be filmed in this space. I move next week and I am so excited to have my own place again. So anyway, hi and welcome to, or back to, my channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions about whatever catches my attention. I'm Kit, and today we are going to look at some dating advice from Your Wingmam. Yes, wingmam, not man. For the lads, we have 7 hard lessons about women most men learn too late in life, and for the ladies, 9 things women secretly need from men most can't admit it. Who's excited? I'm excited. Men, get your notebooks ready. You're up.
No one taught you how attraction actually works, or warned you what effort does without boundaries, or explained why talking often makes things worse, not better.
I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the idea that talking makes things worse because, at least for me, when communication breaks down in a relationship, that's it. But hopefully she'll explain and it's not what it sounds like.
So men improvise, they try harder, they give more, they communicate deeper. Maybe they even become feminists.
What? To save or maintain a romantic relationship, a man might even become a feminist? What does that even mean? I don't think Wingmam knows what feminism is. Anyway, let's get to those lessons.
Pay attention. Ignoring these patterns has consequences. Lesson number 1, attraction is not a reward for being good.
I agree. Also, people can tell when you're acting in the hope of a reward rather than being genuine.
Lesson number 2, talking more never fixes low attraction. It only exposes it.
I can see how talking more can lessen attraction as it might reveal incompatibilities, but I don't think that's what she means.
Men are taught that communication is the solution to everything. If something feels off, talk it out. If there's distance, explain yourself. If there's tension, open up emotionally. That advice ignores a critical truth. Communication doesn't create attraction. It only works when attraction already exists. When attraction is high, conversation feels easy. When attraction drops, conversation feels forced. No amount of explaining can make someone desire you again. The more a man talks when attraction is low, the weaker his position becomes. Positive scenario. She's already attracted. Your communication is calm, direct, brief. You don't overanalyze every little shift in her mood. You speak when something matters. You stay silent when it doesn't. There's space, polarity, and mutual interest. Negative scenario. She pulls back. You panic. You start asking questions. You ask what changed, what she needs, how you can fix things. You explain your intentions. You explain your feelings. You explain your effort. And the more you explain, the more uncertain you sound. She feels pressure instead of desire, and responsibility instead of excitement.
Well, I'm guilty of this. If something strikes me as off with someone, I ask. And I appreciate it when someone checks on me as well. Things can be going on that you don't want to burden others with or that you don't feel comfortable bringing up out of nowhere, and so that invitation to talk can really help and bring you closer. And you can be normal about it. You can just say or text, "Hey, is everything okay? You seemed a bit quiet lately," and then accept the response. Maybe offer a, "I'm here if you ever want to talk." You don't have to go one after the other. "Is everything okay? I really care about you. I miss you. Is it about what happened Thursday night?" That will freak someone out, but a simple check-in is fine, it's normal, good even. Also, you could ask someone how much communication they prefer in their relationships.
Lesson number 3, women test men constantly, and most men fail without realizing it.
Nope.
This is where men misunderstand what's actually happening, or they give up and bow out. Most men think arguments are about the topic. They are not. Most men think tension means something is wrong. It doesn't. Many situations that look like conflict are actually tests.
Am I weird in that I don't really argue with people? Of course I don't agree with everyone, but we're all adults. If we disagree about something, we can just discuss it. It doesn't have to be an argument.
And the frustrating part is women don't even realize they're testing you. It's simply instinctive. These are not tests you sign up for, but they are tests of emotional strength, composure, and self-control. It's never about what you say, but how you respond or react. So, do you get rattled when conflict arises, or do you stay centered? Explain. No, don't explain. Don't explain, never explain. Most men fail these tests quietly. They think they failed because they were honest or kind, because women are confusing and damaged goods. In truth, they failed because they lost their masculine frame.
Am I surprised she's using red pill jargon? Not really. I am curious as to how we're scoring winning or losing an argument, though. And losing respect has nothing to do with losing masculine frame. It's all about how someone responds. If there's swearing, yelling, kicking something, that will lose respect.
Lesson number 4. Love does not earn respect, only boundaries do.
I am not sure what this means, so we'll listen for a bit, but I would say you can't say you love someone and not respect them.
Many men believe love guarantees respect. If she loves you, she'll treat you well. If she cares, she won't cross any lines. That belief is simply not true. Love without boundaries creates entitlement. Every time a man tolerates disrespect, he teaches her what his limits are, and they're flexible. Over time, flexibility turns into expectation. She stops checking herself, stops respecting his space, stops valuing his presence. Not because she's evil, but because the boundary was never enforced. You teach her how to treat you by what you allow. Positive scenario. You address disrespect early, calmly, directly. You don't threaten, lecture, or explode. You simply make it clear what you accept and what you don't. If she's a keeper, she adjusts because she respects your self-respect. Negative scenario. You let things slide. Small comments, little digs, dismissals. You tell yourself it's not worth the fight. Weeks turn into months. Suddenly, the disrespect feels normal. You feel unseen. She feels entitled. Resentment builds on both sides, but you stay because you think all women are like that. But the harsh truth is, you trained her by allowing bad behavior from the start.
You don't train adults, and you also don't enforce your boundaries on others. Your boundaries are for you. If you tell someone, I don't date smokers, and then they begin smoking, you don't take away their cigarettes, threaten them that you're leaving, or whatever. You decided that boundary is really important to you or not, and if it is, you remove yourself from that relationship. No, it's not easy when you care about someone, but you can't make someone respect your boundaries. Though I would say if someone really cares about you, they will make sure to keep them in mind. And if they instead make sure to stomp all over them, well, that tells you how much they care about you. The same goes with respect. If someone keeps disrespecting you, not even anything to do with boundaries, even after you've told them to please not do something that really bothers you, they are telling you how much they care, or don't care, about you. And of course, some folks have really unrealistic boundaries, and that is why we can't outsource thinking. Use your brain.
Okay, the next one is all too common. Lesson number 5, commitment does not lock in attraction. It relaxes men and it kills it.
I agree that commitment doesn't lock in attraction, but what?
A relationship becomes official. She commits. Things feel secure. And slowly the man changes. He stops leading.
He stops doing what?
Letting her make all the decisions. He stops prioritizing his own life. He stops saying no. But attraction responds to polarity, and polarity requires direction. When a man abandons his direction, attraction fades quietly.
I fully agree that people in a relationship should maintain their lives, their friends, and so on. You were a full person before the relationship, and that is what attracted them to you. That has nothing to do with leading.
Remember, what women say they want and what women really need are sometimes different.
No, and if someone says they want you to keep your life after you begin a relationship, but then turn around and expect you to drop everything for them, run.
Lesson number 6. Vulnerability without strength repels.
I have no idea what this means, but I guess we'll find out.
Control comes first. Men are told to open up, be vulnerable, share everything. That advice skips a step. Vulnerability only works when it's backed by emotional stability and strength. Sharing emotions isn't the problem. Leading with insecurity is. Women don't feel safe with men who are ruled by emotion. Women feel safe with men who can feel without losing control.
Okay, agree.
Lesson number 7. Walking away is your only real power.
I probably agree, but the phrasing is weird. Why bring power into it?
Men believe power comes from solving problems, explaining intentions, or proving commitment. Now, that instinct actually destroys attraction. The man who can't walk away has no power. The man who stays to fix everything teaches her his boundaries are loose. Walking away isn't manipulation, it's self-respect, and your self-respect is absolutely necessary for her attraction. The willingness to walk away removes access and confusion. It forces reality to the surface. Positive scenario. You address an issue once, calmly, clearly. If the behavior continues, you disengage. No anger, no threats, no speeches. She adjusts or she doesn't. Either outcome protects you. Negative scenario. You stay and negotiate. Explain again. Tolerate more. You keep investing, hoping her behavior changes. It rarely does. Example. She disrespects you repeatedly. You keep talking. She crosses boundaries. You keep forgiving. Eventually, she leaves, and you realize staying didn't save anything. In fact, it contributed to the end. Key point. Walking away preserves dignity. Staying without standards destroys it.
Okay, so I agree, but again, why bring power into it? If someone, I'm not going to say misbehaves, we're all adults here, or should be, and talking about bad behavior is infantilizing, but if someone disrespects you repeatedly, constantly crosses boundaries, whatever, yes, it's important to be able to leave. Not as a power play, not as something to hold over their head, you do this again and I'm gone, but because being treated that way does negatively affect our perceptions of ourselves, and life is too short to be treated like crap. And that is one of the many reasons it's so important to be comfortable single.
Critical point for men who let bad behavior slide too long. The longer you tolerate disrespect, the harder she'll push back when you finally draw a line. Expect more testing, more acting out, and more reaction.
She's talking about women as though they're children. Acting out bad behavior, this is infantilizing.
Are all women difficult to date? In truth, yes. But some are self-aware, accountable, and know how to respect men who respect themselves.
So, yes, she thinks of women as children. Some women are capable of self-awareness and accountability. I'm skipping over the know how to respect men because all people should be given a basic courtesy. But apparently most of them are children who need to be molded into good behavior. Dating advice not dabbling in misogyny? Impossible. Final thoughts. Wingmam is doing men no favors by telling them that women will try to cross their boundaries and it's up to them to enforce them. And you know, I do agree to a certain extent. Yes, it's up to you to enforce your boundaries, but depending on what it is, crossing a boundary can be an accident. But it should be rare. And if it happens, it should be apologized for, not pouted about or argued. If someone does that, they don't care about your boundaries, and you should walk away, not train them to accept your boundaries. Anyway, that's it for the lads. Did you learn anything? And ladies, it's time to meet those parts of ourselves we didn't even know existed.
Now today, you're going to learn 9 things women secretly need but can't admit. Not to make you feel bad, not to give you another list of failures, but to show you what women are biologically wired to respond to, so you can start getting chosen.
Oh, God help us.
What women need from men. Number 1, she needs you to lead without asking for permission. Most women do not want a man who needs approval to be decisive because indecision feels unsafe and burdensome. A man who leads feels safe, not controlling, calm leadership. What women can't stand is, I don't know, what do you want to do? Key point, women have a lower tolerance to emotional stress. Making all the decisions stresses a woman. A stressed woman is stuck in mother mode and can't relax into lover mode. But what's in it for you? Well, when you make decisions without second guessing yourself, you become more confident everywhere in your life. Your career benefits, your friendships deepen or improve. You stop wasting mental energy on endless deliberation. Example. You're planning a date. She says, anything is fine. So you ask again, and then you send her 5 different options. Now dating feels like work for both of you. Contrast that with going to that new French place down the road. Be ready at 7. Decision made. She can relax. Key point, a man who leads can ignite attraction. A man who hesitates makes her feel like she has to manage everything. Mother mode. Just the tip. Pick a plan, set a time, give her 1 adjustment option, and then move forward.
I'm starting to wonder if men lead is something people just say now without thinking about it. I don't think wingman means it in the way, let's say, Candace Owens or Melena Cicciati does, so I'll let it slide. But I do want to say that planning a date is not leading. It is something nice you do for your partner who, depending on who they are, probably doesn't want to be the one planning all the dates. It can be fun, but sometimes it's nice to let someone else do the planning. and also to know they care enough to plan something nice for the two of you.
Number 2, she needs emotional strength, not emotional performance. Women say they want vulnerability, but they respond to emotional control over yourself, not her. Emotional strength is feeling things without falling apart. You don't panic, spiral, or collapse. You stay steady. What's in it for you? Emotional regulation is a superpower. When you can feel stressed without losing composure, you sleep better and make better decisions. This protects your mental health, regardless of what any woman wants. Example number 1, she doesn't reply for 6 hours. A weak man double or triple texts and adds, "Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong?" He's chasing reassurance. Example number 2, she doesn't reply for 6 hours. When she finally does, because maybe she's finished her work projects, well, a weak man ignores her or pulls away or pouts internally. He's punishing her for being unavailable. But a strong man stays calm, keeps living his life. When she texts back, he responds normally because her timing didn't dictate his emotional state. Key point, strong men do feel deeply. They just don't fall apart publicly. Just the tip, pause before responding to anything that triggers you or automatically running away. Take 3 deep breaths, then speak like a man who can handle life.
This is supposed to be something women can't admit. Yes, I want someone who is able to talk to me about anything and everything, but I also want someone able to manage their emotions. There are, of course, times when things get overwhelming, but in general, adults should be able to regulate themselves.
3, she needs to be desired, not worshipped. Emotionally healthy women don't want a fan. They want a man. Worship kills polarity. A woman can't relax into her feminine when you are acting like she is doing you a favor by existing. What's in it for you? Well, when you stop putting women on pedestals, you see them clearly. You notice flaws and red flags a lot faster. You make better choices and stop wasting time on women who don't deserve your energy. Example, you tell her she's gorgeous. She says, "Thanks." Then you keep going, "No, you're perfect. You're an angel. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen." Sir, calm back down. Instead, try, "You know what? You look especially great tonight. I'm glad you came."
I agree, but it has nothing to do with being in my feminine. I want a mutual connection, not, as Wingmam says, a fan.
Simple, direct, masculine. Key point, desire is attractive. Worship is a turnoff. Just the tip. Compliment her like a man who has options. 1 genuine compliment beats 10 desperate ones.
Wingmam is giving classically Abby vibes. A lot of the stuff she says isn't that bad, but it doesn't have to be gendered, and then she throws in the weirdest things. How is a compliment masculine? How do you compliment someone like you have options? Why do you want someone you're dating to think you have options? If they need that thought to keep them in line or whatever, are they really someone you want to be dating? Anyway.
Number 4, she needs standards that can exclude her. What does this one mean? Well, many women feel safer with a man who has clear boundaries. Women need to know where the goalposts are. A man with no standards is easy to manipulate. A man with standards is hard to disrespect. She needs to respect you in order to get wet for you.
I think my soul just left my body.
What's in it for you? Well, standards protect your peace. When you have clear boundaries and follow through on consequences when they are abused, you eliminate drama before it starts and attract better people into your life. Example, she flakes twice last minute, shows up late with no apology, ghosts for a week, then texts, "Hey stranger." If you reply instantly, you teach her that's okay. Instead, you say, "I like you, but I'm not doing inconsistency. If you're interested, please show up properly." Then, if she doesn't, you leave, not with anger, just with data. Key point, standards protect your peace and create attraction. Just the tip, if she's inconsistent, address it calmly before it becomes a pattern. If it does, leave.
I have been revived. So yes, everyone should have standards. Accepting whatever is not a good thing, but I don't understand why you would need standards that exclude the person you're dating. It sounds like Wingmam believes women need to be kept on unstable ground so they don't, as she likes to say, misbehave. But honestly, this just sounds performative, especially since her examples don't have anything to do with standards that exclude who you're dating.
5, she needs you to flirt like a man, not perform like a circus clown. Attraction isn't built by acting like her personal comedian. Women are turned on by masculine presence. Eye contact, paced speech, relaxed confidence. a man who's comfortable in his skin. Now, if eye contact stresses you, look at the bridge between her nose. What's in it for you? When you stop performing for approval, you become way more authentic everywhere. Work meetings go better, friendships feel real. You stop exhausting yourself trying to be on all the time. Masking is exhausting. Example, she says, "You're trouble, aren't you?" Well, a weak man might respond with, "No, I'm a good guy, I promise." Well, you just ruined a moment. A better response would be a smile, a pause, maybe a little. That's it. You held the tension instead of scrambling to relieve it. Key point, tension is required for desire to spark. Flirt like you belong there, not like you're auditioning. What you perceive as uncomfortable tension, she experiences as attraction butterflies. Just the tip, stop talking to fill silence. Slow down, say less. Let her feel the moment.
Disagree. Flirting is about reading the person you're flirting with. There is no script you can follow. And no, you don't have to turn into a circus clown, but laughing together can create desire.
6, she needs safety, but not to mother you. So I've said it many times, mother mode kills lover mode. Women will nurture everybody, but here, if she starts feeling like your parent, you'll get her bossy mommy side. She can love you and still stop desiring you. What's in it for you? Well, adulting makes everything easier. When you have a mission, handle your stress like a grown-up, and solve your own problems, you're more successful whether you're in a romantic relationship or single. Example, a man vents constantly, complains, has no mission or no plan. He treats her like an emotional tampon. She doesn't feel like his lover. She feels like his nanny. She starts losing respect or pulling away. He gets more needy. She loses attraction. He thinks it came out of nowhere. Nope. Key point. She needs to feel safe with you, not responsible for you. Just the tip. Handle your stress. Have male friends you can talk to or a therapist. You can open up emotionally, but don't dump your life onto her lap like a weekly crisis report.
Agree, though it's more about not wanting to be someone's only emotional support than about feeling safe.
7, she needs consistency, not intensity. Consistency builds trust. Intensity builds pressure. Consistency is you showing up, following through, staying steady. Intensity is you text all day, send paragraphs, over a promise early. Women are leery of intensity from a stranger. They need consistency from a man. What's in it for you? Well, when you develop consistency without neediness, you become reliable everywhere. You show up for workouts. You follow through on other commitments. You become the guy people can count on. Example, a man is amazing for 2 weeks. Then he's needy. Then he's cold. Then he's emotional. Then back again. Oh my gosh, that's exhausting. She never knows what version of you she's getting. Contrast that with a man who is staying steady, same energy, same follow through. She knows what to expect so she can relax into her feminine. Key point. Consistency is attractive. Just the tip. Text with purpose. Show interest, yes, and give space. Don't perform love.
The feminine energy thing is nonsense, but otherwise agree. Wait, isn't this supposed to be things women won't admit?
Number 8, she needs you to handle conflict without losing your frame. What does this mean? Well, every relationship has conflict. So what do you do when she's emotional? Arguments with women are not about winning or losing. You come out stronger by staying calm, listening, and keeping your cool instead of reacting or shutting down. What's in it for you? Learning to handle conflict calmly is perhaps the most valuable skill you can develop for life. It improves your work performance. It helps you negotiate better. It helps protect your mental health regardless of women. Example, she says, "You never make time for me, but you saw her 3 times this week." A weak man panics. He says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm terrible." A strong man stays calm. "I have made time for you. If you want more, ask directly. Don't rewrite reality." Key point, you can be kind and firm. You're not here to negotiate, basic respect. Just the tip, when conflict starts, name it once. "I'm not arguing. We can talk when we are both calm." Then stop engaging.
I agree, though it has nothing to do with masculine frame, but with being a rational adult.
9, she needs you to be willing to walk away. I know it's a shocker. This is the secret behind most attraction. A woman feels safest with and most attracted to a man who doesn't fear losing her, not because he's cold, but because he is not desperate.
I'm trying to wrap my mind around this one. Obviously, I want to be with someone who has self-respect, but I also don't spend dates thinking about how I could be left at any moment if I misbehave. I don't really think that's a healthy way to conduct a relationship.
He chooses her, but doesn't need her. What's in it for you? Well, your ability to walk away from what doesn't serve you determines the quality of your entire life. Bad job, walk away. Toxic friend, walk away. Disrespectful woman, walk away. This power protects you and makes you magnetic. It unconsciously signals value and makes others want to earn your respect. Example, she keeps you in limbo, hot and cold, breadcrumbing. A lot of men try harder. They chase, they explain. That's when she loses respect. Women's bodies don't respond to logic.
Citation fucking needed. And if someone is breadcrumbing you and they only come back because you indicate you're going elsewhere, they aren't actually interested.
If her effort drops and stays low, your attention should also match hers. No revenge, no drama. You just quietly exit with dignity. Key point. If you want to be the prize, you've got to stop acting like only she is. Just the tip. If she's not showing effort, reduce yours. And remember the Wingmam motto. Always leave them wanting more, but leave them enough to want more.
I agree with so much. She just has to throw a misogyny for some reason. Case in point.
Fellas, if you are a man who's been struggling, it's not because you're not enough. It's because modern dating creates confusion. Most men were never taught how women actually respond to masculine stability.
All adults should be stable. That is not a masculine trait.
Women secretly need strength, direction, consistency, and standards, and safety without mothering.
Everyone needs that for themselves. Everyone should have strength, direction, standards, and safety. Everyone should be consistent. Some are easier said than done. Some people struggle more with one thing than another, but those are all basic things adults should do and not look to others to provide for them. And just in case anyone is asking why, if you have no strength, no direction, no standards, you're just drifting, and it would be easy for anyone to pick you up and mold you into what they want. And the people that are interested in that are usually not the ones you want to rely on. And if you're not consistent, people won't feel as though they can rely on you. And if you're not a safe person to be around, I trust I don't have to explain that.
If you become a man who leads calmly,
good news! Women don't need to be led. They're adults. So, ladies, are we all surprised to learn about the things we need? Final thoughts. People need self-respect and a sense of self before they begin dating. That's it for the videos, but we're not done yet. Someone left a comment on one of these videos. I forget which one, but probably the 7 hard lessons, noting that no one talks about what women should do to please a man and get him to stay with her. To which I would say, be good company. But the Wingmam links to a whole post she made a few years ago about how to be more beautiful, the full manifesto. And it is quite long, but I had a few thoughts about it. And I'll start by saying that the way Wingmam talks about dating, whether intentional or not, seems to give her audience the impression that this is what they must do, must be, to get into a relationship. But everyone is different. I know, cliche, but it's true. There's no point in giving yourself a makeover to attract women because there is no one magic formula to attract women. But by being yourself and being a decent person, you can attract people who are right for you. Also, I do appreciate that Wingmam gives examples of how certain traits can benefit you outside of dating, but she is giving a very weird view of women. Apparently, women will act out and misbehave, so you better let them know straight up that you won't stand for any shenanigans. And that's weird. No, it's not weird to not want to be steamrolled, but that is a weird way to talk about adults. Yes, there are people in the world who take a malicious glee in trampling boundaries and getting away with whatever they can while making it seem like you're the one at fault, but the way to deal with them isn't to train them. It's to not date them. Yes, maybe they're super hot, maybe they do that thing in bed you really like, but you can't train someone to respect you. They can fake it, but it won't be real. And yes, there are people who will accidentally overstep a boundary, and you'll know it's an accident because they'll apologize and it won't happen again. Or at least extremely rarely. And yes, having to know which is real and which is fake is exhausting because dealing with people can be exhausting, and that is what makes dating hard. Dealing with people. I would say it's worth it, but that's for everyone to decide for themselves. And on that note, Wingmam's advice is mostly bunk. You don't have to worry about leading or your frame or keeping her on her toes. Just be a decent person with something to say for yourself. Also, none of this has to be gendered. Although, well, this is how she opens her manifesto, quote, "By and large, Men and women remain biologically, neurologically, and emotionally wired and or socially adapted to be different in many ways, end quote. In truth, men and women are more alike than they are different, and trying to convince us otherwise does no one any favors. And women would also like men who are kind, curious, compassionate, respectful, just a few words she uses when advising women on how to be more beautiful to men. But setting all that aside, let's talk about red pill rot, because for some reason we can't have dating advice without that. We won't be discussing the Make Women Great Again convention that she used as her starting off point, though it is a glaring red flag, and I will link my video on it in the cards. Instead, I want to note a few things that stood out to me. This is from tip 20, be respectful, quote, "The opposite of supportive and encouraging is blatant disrespect. Ladies, our words cut deep. Too many of us allow our emotions to rile us up into acting and speaking to men without any hint of respect. Everyone deserves to be treated respectfully, but if we want to have a healthy, happy relationship, we must curtail the bad habit of emotional reactivity. Yes, it's how we're built, either by nature or nurture." I'm sorry, is she saying that women are built by nature or nurture to be emotionally reactive? What? But men are built to look at women's boobs and we tell them that's not okay. Some men have trained themselves to be less obvious and more respectful to those of us women who are sensitive about that natural instinct. Should we not also make an effort to control our natural instinct to react emotionally, especially if disrespectfully? End quote. This is some sort of nonsense. Yes, we should all strive not to be emotionally reactive, and men should also not leer at women, no matter if she seems okay with it or not. I am so baffled by her choice of comparison. Also, does she not view staring at boobs a form of disrespect? Or is she another one of those people who think women need love and men need respect? Fun fact, we all need both. And also, I don't think you can love someone without respecting them. But anyway, number 27, honest, which did make me laugh a bit because she also advised us to laugh even when he tells jokes that aren't funny. But anyway, quote, "Believe it or not, men want us to be honest with them." Actually, you know what? This strikes me as disrespectful. Why is she apparently surprised that men want honesty? They also prefer our communications be direct and clear. Who doesn't prefer that? Yes, please, let's be opaque and obtuse. With fewer words would be the cherry on top. Ha, some good old-fashioned sexism. Women, they just be talking. What they do not want is criticism, condemnation, ridicule, being berated, nagging, emasculation, stonewalling, or your defensiveness. This is not a men or women thing. No one wants to be spoken to in any of those ways. Come on, ladies, you know you're guilty of at least one of these nasty Nelly traits. We've all been there at least a time or two, or too many. Communication is a feminine quality. Is it though? Because she's giving a lot of instruction. But it's not just about saying the right words. Men don't speak hint. Neither do women. How weird. But they don't listen either when we speak without regard to their feelings. Yup, men have feelings. In fact, they love us a lot more deeply and less conditionally than we love them. Read that again. End quote. Oh, I did read that again, and men love more deeply and unconditionally than women is from the same red pill rubbish bin which claims that only women and children are loved unconditionally. And also that women are born with their value, looks and fertility for those wondering, which is a damn creepy way to look at a baby, and men have to earn it, money and resources. This is also the same group that claims women hit the wall. I've seen 22 mentioned, but 30, so far as I've seen, is the latest, after which they are useless. So much for being loved unconditionally. Also, if you value someone for their looks and fertility, how is that unconditional? Your love is predicated on those things being present. Also, they love more and with less conditions, but also don't listen when women speak in a way they don't like? Number 28, vulnerable and submissive. And for the upteenth time, women do not need to submit to men. It is very possible to be vulnerable, to be open, to be respectful without being submissive. And finally, number 30, be virtuous because of course. I like how this was kept for last. Quote, "Virtuous means being honest, honorable, ethical, and if we want to feel comfortable getting uncomfortably vulnerable, virtuous means chaste. Being selective about who we become intimate with is ultimately feminine. Remember, men are the ones producing millions of swimmers every day, and women produce 1 egg a month. Of course, it's because of that fact that men won't want you to put on a chastity belt. But if they're ready for a committed relationship and potentially a family one day, I'm sure most men agree they appreciate the woman who hasn't been indulgent in sexual liberation. When a woman is selective and a man has had to earn and or wait for it, he'll also know that when he gets it, oh my eye roll, from this particular lady, it's because he has higher value than the guys that came before him, but didn't actually get to come before him, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying wait until you're married. Do whatever you like. Feminism gave you that. But in my opinion, and that of many men, promiscuous women lower their own value when they're not selective about sexual partners. So have higher standards based on a man's character, not on shallow traits like looks, money, status, and don't spread them for any Tom or Harry's dick. End quote. I'm just going to be blunt. Only have sex with who you want when you want. Do not do something you don't want because someone is pressuring you or you think it will make them like you. But I want to make this very clear. Sex does not devalue people. And if someone thinks it does, they are not viewing you as a person, but as an object. And someone who views women as a used car, bald tire, chewed gum, used tissue, plucked flower, what did I miss, is not someone you want to be dating. I promise, sex and dating is more fun and fulfilling with someone who sees you as a person. And just as an aside, I forget which number this is from, but Wingmam thinks you should wear makeup because, quote, very few women can get away with absolutely no makeup and look feminine. Thank you for confirming that being feminine is just a performance. The best thing you can do in dating is to be authentic. If you don't wear makeup, don't start because you think it will make you look more feminine and thus more attractive to men. You should begin as you mean to continue. That way, there are no surprises later on. Okay, so follow me for more dating advice. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Anyway, thank you for watching, or listening as the case may be.